देखिए 4132 आ गया ये तो
4132
आगे से प्रीव्यू आ गया। देखिए
प्रीव्यू बहुत ज़्यादा लाइट है। चिट्टा ही है और घटाओ। हाँ दिख रहा है ठीक।
जो उत्थे रखा वा सारे गल प्ले कर दी जब सीन एंड सैट।
नहीं इतना फोन नहीं कर सकते हैं। अच्छा वैसे दस्या तो भी लाइव कर। अच्छा फेसबुक यूट्यूब खालसा कॉलेज वाले फाइल फेसबुक पे लाइव कर। वो मैं देखा है और वो पीछे चले जाता फिर फेसबुक की पोस्ट वगैरह। कल डॉक्टर माइंड साउथ फाइल से चेंज बननी चाहिए। नहीं कल तो बात नहीं किया ना तो हम फाइनल
लाइट आ गई है। लाइव गाल सुनो जी प्रोफेसर साहब चक्कर लेके दिखाओ सारी दुनिया को पता लग गया।
पूरे लाला वो लगा बोर्ड
साइंस मैथ टेक्नोलॉजी एजुकेशन इतने जने हैं इकट्ठा होकर शो करेगा।
कितना लग रहा है?
ठीक लग रहा है
थोड़े पंजाबी वाले मैडम
सर मैं GCA 11 सी के कमल जी
नहीं पंजाबी देखते
ਇੱਥੇ ਇਸ ਕਾਲਜ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਚਿੱਟਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ
नहीं मैं इसको मेरे नाम
प्रेरणा का कमल
पंजाबी देखते
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀ ਸੈਕਟਰ 11 का सब कॉलेज दोबारा ना
आ रहा है
गर्ल्स लाइक बॉयज बॉयज कॉलेज पर है ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋਗੇ ਉਹ ਬੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ
तो मैडम साहब सभी
आ गया
ਨਾਮ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਾਲਜ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਾਲਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਹੈ ਜੈ ਗੁਰਮੇਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੈ ਹੈਡ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਮੈਡਮ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ PPSC ਚ ਆ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਾਲਜ ਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਾਲਜ ਸਾਡੇ
की हाल ने ठीक ठाक हो ढीला काला ना
सर वो पिछों HP यूनिवर्सिटी पर सेवा काफ़ी हो रही
सर ਤੁਸੀਂ HP यूनिवर्सिटी का दोस्त क्योंकि मेरी भी एजुकेशन HP मेरी डॉक्टरेट जी है वो 92 HP डॉक्टर ग्रुप हाँ जी
शर्मा
हाँ जी हाँ जी वो साढ़े टीचर रहे हैं हाँ जी
मिश्रा जी साढ़े
मैंने लगी थोड़ा एजुकेशन की बात नहीं
गांधी को पहले वो सीगा ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਸੀ
अच्छा ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸੀ ਬਾਅਦ
ਫਿਰ ਲਾਭ ਭਵਨ ਬਣੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਗਾਂਧੀ ਕੋਲ
हाँ जी हाँ जी
एजुकेशन मैनेजमेंट पढ़ने तो टॉप पे सीधा
हाँ जी केमिस्ट्री के उत्ते सी मैनेजमेंट
बायो ਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਕੰਮ
हाँ जी हाँ जी
इको लैब
एक और भी मैडम शिमला दी है ਤੁਹਾਡੇ एजुकेशन ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਨੈਕ ਟੀਮ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੋਆਰਡੀਨੇਟਰ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਐਚਪੀਯੂ ਤੋਂ ਸੀ
ਬਰਾਬਰ ਦੇ ਚੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੰਮ ਦਾ
ਉਹਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਸੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲਗਾ ਦੋ ਵੀ ਟੀਚਰ ਸੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਸੀ
ਮੇਰੀ ਬੇਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ
ਮੇਰੀ 92 ਦੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ 92 ਮੈਂ ਇਸੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੀ
ਸ਼ਾਮ ਤੋਂ हम बात करेंगे
मैडम इंदरजीत कौर मैडम
सर बात है
हाँ जी
और हम आगे
पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी को भी फिर वो वापस आ गए
समझ गया मैं इंग्लिश ट्राई कर रहा हूं उनकी वाइफ की ये पैथोलॉजी लैब ਗਿੱਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ
मैं तो चंडीगढ़ तो है मैं पुणे आई है मैं ना आफ्टर बिकमिंग पंजाब ज्वाइन करना पाया था मेरा सब्जेक्ट भी केमिस्ट्री है
ਜੋ ਮੈਡਮ ਜੇਪੀ ਨੱਡਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੁਫੜ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ
ਸਾਡੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖੂ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਟਾਈਮ
ਆਪਣੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ वाइबल हो जाती है
I was going to say I was concerned they were closed. No, after work at wine, we spent money, so I didn't get to tell them. I think the lines were.
sorry, we're in the way.
Want you back, want you back. Oh, sorry.
Absolutely. This stage
What
is
is
central.
video playing? Medina
I
Victor.
didn't know it before I picked it up. But, no, I just picked it up this morning. I searched the hotel grounds, got a stick to the sea, and decided to just there. I went all the way around, and I got sort of 4/5 of the way around. I thought I'm not going to miss it.
Fantastic, lovely to meet you. So nice to meet
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਓ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਫੈਕਲਟੀ ਨੂੰ
My esteemed every guiding ek tarah
mentors and senior people are our mentors ma'am in the department learned a lot hello
Professor Harjoor
आ जाओ पंजाबी आ जाओ जी इनके जाओ
Professor Pankaj Arora, he is chief guest for today. Chairperson, National Council for Teacher Education. Professor Kalli, she is Vice Chancellor, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration. She is guest of honor.
I need her to tell my institution.
Professor Richard, she is from School of Education, Cutting University Perth, and she is a keynote speaker. Professor Rekha Kaur, our conference co-chair. So, photograph.
It's live. You should not be sitting still. You should be talking. Cheerfully setting the environment. Yes. I was just talking to him in my vehicle while coming here. She was saying yesterday somebody asked me what country you belong to. He said I am from this world. Yes. And this is my introduction.
Yes.
I found this so beautiful response. I'll start saying the same thing. I am from this world. This is more important for all of us.
So much. I don't feel any difference. Wherever you go, you're connected.
All metropolitan cities are alike, whether it's in India or in Bombay. Sorry, in any part of India or even outside India.
Very true.
No.
We just fly
Lifestyle
in the
and
morning and can return the next day.
Next
itself.
day.
Yes.
Somebody asked, where are you on earth?
Yeah.
on the same earth where you are.
Sir, Madam Pushpinder, Professor Pushpinder Kaur, she is Dean, Faculty of Education and Information Science. Professor Pankaj Arora, Chairperson NCC.
That was the slogan for G20, no? One Earth, one family, one future.
Yes. Kalli, Madam Vice Chancellor, Professor Richard.
This is new normal that all visitors from different part of the world are shaking, holding hands and greeting us with namaste.
Exactly.
Because COVID stopped us.
But now this is a new normal, especially in COVID time. We go to the form this meeting within you, and you so that means we utilize the being
For the international conference he had there.
which is the non. Do you have
Yes, I have. Can I? No, I have to transfer it. So can I come in and do? Sure. Can I? Copy paste. Yes.
Punjabi with 10 departments revolving around. Let's go.
आओ जी पैक कर रहे हैं थोड़ी मैं गेस्ट हाउस में डालने वेट कर
When do we find out? This is a build-up.
I'm not quite sure. Somebody said shows that your domains.
Basically how this whole week and a half
Yeah, you're a camera, Michael. Cricket. It's your attire.
Thank you, sir.
Front seats
2 years. My civil allowed me not to intervene, but doing it in my space and cannot get that space I cannot share. It's my how can you say you're the religion?
Professor Rachel Shetty, Professor Sasikala Banjari, Professor Narendra Kaur Multani, and Dr. Jagpreet and other members kindly come up on the stage to do the honors, please. We deeply appreciate the presence marking the auspicious beginning of our proceedings for the day. Witnessing the lamp being lit, may it inspire all of us. The flame's upward moment, defying the gravity, stands as a symbol of our quest for knowledge, upliftment, and the resolve to rise above all challenges. It stands as a testament to the power of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance. A heartfelt thanks to our esteemed guests for leading this auspicious beginning. As we throughout the day, let it remind us of a collective commitment to knowledge, harmony, education, and progress. With this luminous start, we now officially declare the event open and proceed with our planned schedule. A big round of applause for the first day of this international conference. As is the tradition at Punjabi University Patiala, I request you all to please rise as the University Bundi is being played. May I now request Professor Rachel Shetty and Professor Ranjit Bawa to extend a warm welcome to our guests by presenting a sapling, Dr. Jagpreet and other members of the dais to kindly join us. A big round of applause for the Coco Cola. I request the Coco Cola to kindly accept our token of gratitude. Professor Coco Cola, we are thankful and grateful that you are here with us today. Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now request Professor Pankaj Arora to kindly accept our token of appreciation. Professor Pankaj Arora, observer now all the way from Delhi to be with us, chairman of this International Conference. May I now request Professor Kalli Sohni to kindly accept a sign of appreciation. A big round of applause for Professor
Madam.
May I now request kindly Dr. Jagpreet and Dr. Narinder Kaur Multani to kindly present a token of appreciation for the agency have been with us since yesterday and will be with us in the last few days as well. May I now request Dr. Jagpreet Kaur, Head and Convener, Department of Education and Community Service, Punjabi University, Patiala, to formally welcome our esteemed guests. Dr. Jagpreet Kaur. A big round of applause for Dr. Jagpreet.
Thank you, Dr. Papan. Respected Professor Pankaj Arora, Chairperson, National Council for Teacher Education, New Delhi, the apex regulatory body of teacher education in India, Professor Shashikala Vanjari, Vice Chancellor, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, New Delhi, apex body of education in India, Professor Richard Shepard, from School of Education, Curtin University, Perth, Professor Rekha Kaul, Curtin University, Perth, Professor N.K. Multani, Dean of Technical Affairs, Punjab University, Patiala, Professor Sanjeev Puri in absentia. I welcome all the delegates from Australia, Nepal, and Singapore, and from other countries as well, from across the states in India. It's a huge gathering of national and international delegates. Deans, heads of the departments, esteemed colleagues, dear scholars, and my dear students. It's an absolute honor and a profound privilege for me to extend a warm welcome today morning to all of you in the inaugural session of this International Conference of Science, Mathematics, Technology and Education, Making and Shaping the Future, SMTE-2024. This conference, it's ICSSR sponsored, and this is being organized by Department of Education, Punjabi University, Patiala, in collaboration with School of Education, Curtin University, Perth, particularly the STEM education group, which is working in the field of STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education from Curtin University, Perth. In today's rapidly evolving global landscape, the integration of science, mathematics, technology, and education, this is more critical than ever. And this SMTE 2024 conference, this aspires to be a dynamic platform for all of us, for all the delegates from India and abroad, where innovative ideas, they will meet practical solutions. And through this forum, we aim to aspire the transformative research, encourage global collaborations, and address the pressing challenges of the recent times. The sessions and discussions of the coming days, for the next few days, they will not only showcase the cutting-edge research, but also explore the practical approaches to shaping a future driven by knowledge, sustainability, and equity. So this conference is a convergence of thought leaders, researchers, and educators, teacher educators, dedicated to addressing the critical challenges and opportunities at the intersection of STEM disciplines with the discipline of education. So it's an interdisciplinary sort of approach that we have tried to follow. Over the next few days, we'll be having sessions which will cover the main fields of science, mathematics, technology, education, digital technologies, and innovative ideas. Through these activities, we foster a rich dialogue. We aim to foster a rich dialogue that not only addresses the contemporary challenges, but also envisions the practical solutions for shaping a sustainable and forward-looking future. So I take this great pride in this collaborative endeavor that this conference embodies. It is through such interdisciplinary platforms that we can foster meaningful dialogue,
encourage international cooperation, and we can inspire the next generation of educators and innovators. So we are deeply honored to host this distinguished gathering of scholars, practitioners and policymakers. Your participation of everyone today for the next 3 days, it will enrich this conference and brings unique perspective that will undoubtedly contribute to the advancement. And I extend my deepest appreciation to all the participants, to our resource persons and partners, ICSSR and Kalli University for their invaluable support in this endeavor. I am confident that your contributions they will make SMTE-2024 an intellectually stimulating and memorable experience for all of us. Let us seize this opportunity to share insights, challenge the perspectives, and pave the way for a future where education and technology they serve as pillars of progress. I wish you all an enlightening and productive conference filled with meaningful discussions and impactful insights. Together, let us shape a future where education and innovation lead the way forward. Thank you and welcome once again. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Now, please join me in welcoming Professor Rekha Paul, School of Education, Curtin University, to share some thoughts and insights about the purpose, goals, and significance of this international conference. A big round of applause for Professor Rekha.
Can we use the guest if that mic is not? The mic is not. I didn't use for this mic. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Warm up.
As a teacher, you are loud enough.
Yes. Get my teacher voice out and not get you boring.
Yes.
He's getting the mic before I take it. So we are opening up the 11th International Conference on Science, Mathematics, Technology and Engineering. And the theme of this conference, as Preet has already said, is making and shaping the future. And we haven't, at any point described future of what. Possibly we are looking at the future, global future. How all of us together can make a change to a better world. Sorry, before I start, I need to acknowledge the country where we come from, because keeping in view, this is a Curtin collaborative conference, so I respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the unceded land where I come from, the Bamb people of the Noongar Nation, and to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to acknowledge the connection to the lands and the waters. I also thank the Punjabi University Patiala for hosting us for this conference in this beautiful campus in the historic royal city of Patiala. In the Australian indigenous seasons, they are having 6 seasons, since the theme of this conference is around sustainability. So we are very much looking at the seasons. It's not working. So right now we are in the season of Kambarang, which is start of hot summer, exactly opposite of what's happening in northern hemisphere of the world. Moving ahead, I think it will be, it's impossible for me to start this welcome without acknowledging the initiators of this conference. First of all, Professor Barry Fraser, who has been the leader or global leader in learning environment research, made an impact worldwide And I would urge all of you to go and Google Professor Barry Fraser and see the impact he has made with over 52,000 citations, Edge index of 100 plus, don't ask me what it is, possibly 119, and 500 plus publications. He has been my mentor, and he started SMTE, and we sadly lost him 2 months back. So paying tributes to him. And next one would be my PhD supervisor, who initiated this conference. And the idea behind this conference was taking an international conference to developing world. And we lost even Daryl in 2021. Was a PhD student of Professor Fraser, but he did enormous work in the area of science education, supervising 100 over, I think it was 120 doctoral students, and making a global impact. So you can see small acts of, intentions making this impact. And when I told, and even in this picture, Daryl is inaugurating the 5th SMTE, which we held in Thailand. Around 9th international conference, when I told Daryl, after this, I took the charge of these conferences. Daryl, we are hosting the 9th international conference. He said, I didn't think that it will have that life. And I'm really happy to see that it's going ahead. We did have some backdrop around the COVID times. We couldn't continue. This conference we are holding after 4 years. But hopefully the younger generation, I'm looking at my PhD students down, sitting in the seats there, they will keep the fire burning and taking it around the world. Where we have not been able to do it, they will take it ahead. Moving on, as I told you about the history, it had a humble beginning with international students wherever they were, and we have been taking the conference to the developing world. The people who can't come to international conferences. Moving ahead, I welcome all of you. First of all, presenters wherever you have come from internationally, Nepal, Singapore, Australia, and different states of India. I know India is a large country. Traveling here is not easy. Some of you might have taken 2 days to arrive here in Patiala. So welcome you all, because without your support, this conference wouldn't have been possible. Then, of course, the dignitaries who make it special, and Punjabi University Patiala, and most of the leadership here who hosted us, and most importantly, Professor Jagpreet Kaur. When I introduced the idea of this conference to her, I don't think she took even a second in thinking. She said, yes, ma'am, we can do it. And that was sowing the seed. Thank you, Jagpreet ji. Now, why STEM? Why STEM is becoming more important? This morning when I was thinking about this welcome, I had quite a lot to say, but I had difficulty cutting it down. Job growth in coming years is going to be highest in STEM area. I'm not saying that we have to have, all children have to become scientists or mathematicians, but they should have the STEM skills then, because that is what will be required for their careers. You can see we will have around 11% job growth requiring STEM skills, while as other jobs around 5% only. I looked at India. India is producing around 23.5 million STEM graduates every year, which is quite huge. And we are second in pipeline after China, but China's population is now coming down, and our youth population is much more, and we will need to speed it up. We'll need more people in STEM areas, and if you look at the production, it's around 30% here, while China is much more. And I'll come ahead. What's happening there is moving ahead. This is really important. We will have the highest, youth dividend of people in the age group of, it's not saying that, but approximately 1.42.86 crores population, and 68% will be the working population. But what we have the skills gap crisis here. We have more jobs with lesser youth trained in those skills. And what are the skills we are requiring? We are requiring the STEM skills. So it becomes more important for us as educationists to put more efforts in at school level, I would say motivating them and getting them interested into STEM, and that then again at higher education, giving them the skills. The other bit, what I thought about is important about India is the women empowerment. 50% of the population is females. The recent report coming from World Bank says all the SDGs, UN Sustainable Development Goals, were claiming to have parity in gender gap by 2030. But we are 97 years behind getting the gender parity. The way the world is going right now, if we continue working on that, it will be 97 years before we reach there. And I looked at the reports. I don't think whether the numbers will be clear to you. India currently is at 91. We are the 91th country in gender parity. Although we are not doing badly, on all indicators we are going up, but there's a long way for us to reach there. If you really want to make difference, we need to, close that gap as well. So STEM becomes more and more important. So I was glad this morning only I got this email from Indian High Commission in Australia that Indian Cabinet has approved One Nation, One subscription 2 days back, which is a great news for all us academics, so that our students will have access to more and more resources by sharing the resources. I think Indian academics can relate to me, but I may have to explain it to international academics sometime later. It will take a while. So, the World Economic Forum refers to teaching and learning of this set of abilities. I won't go into detail, the 4 skills, 4 C's. If we could do it through STEM education, give them those skills, that would be wonderful for the world as well as India, to be specific. Now, coming back to our conference, it's going to be a very enriching experience for all of you. It includes, we had a wonderful pre-conference workshop with school children yesterday. You have keynote addresses, panel discussions, workshops, paper presentations, cultural programming. I'm told that it's very, very engaging. And those of you who submit your papers will go into a refereed Springer publication after this. And there There should be much more. Making friends around, don't forget that. In addition to that, don't forget to enjoy the local hospitality. We were out in the Gurdwara Dukh Nivaran Sahib yesterday morning at 5 a.m. At the hotel we are living in, we were, welcomed by a dog called Sheru. And every time I leave the hotel, he is there. Every time I come back, he's there to welcome us. It's amazing how people are here. No, it's the hotel manager is there, but Sheru is always there too. So it's quite impressive what it should do to all of us. And that's one of the aims behind it. And thank you to ICSSR, Punjabi University, and I declare this conference open. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Rekha. So now, since we know the purpose of this international conference, I assure you that we will be having a packed schedule for the 3 days, today and 2 more days to come. So it is now my privilege to call upon our chief guest of the day, Professor Pankaj Arora, Chairman, National Council for Teacher Education in New Delhi, to deliver the inaugural address. A big round of applause for Professor.
Thank you. Good morning, namaste, sat sri akal to all. On the dais, Professor Rekha Kaul, Professor Reshi, Professor Shashikala Banjari, Dr. Narendra Kaur Multani, Dean Academic Affairs of this prestigious university, Dr. Jagpreet Kaur, Head of the Department of Education in Punjabi University, Patiala, a group of delegates from Curtin University, Perth, and distinguished scholars from different parts of India as well as from Nepal, and scholars and faculty members of this prestigious university here in Patiala. It is a privilege to extend my warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you at the inaugural session of this international conference, for which tone has already been set by Ms. Rekha when she helped us understand the background of this 11th conference and the significance of science, technology, mathematics, and education. In the opening remark, when Jagpreet was telling us how interdisciplinary this conference is going to be, I was talking to the Professor Rachel about pedagogy has always been interdisciplinary in nature, because pedagogy is a common thread that tie all the parts of knowledge, all the parts of subjects, and make it interesting how it should be delivered, how it should reach to the young learners in a classroom situation or elsewhere. It is a moment of immense pride and privilege for me to be present here today for the inaugural session of this conference on science, mathematics, technology, and education. Science, mathematics, and technology has always been a matter of concern among developing countries' people. We are struggling, we are trying to develop scientific temperament. In 1964, when Kothari Commission came out with the idea to have scientific temperament among young people, they made science and social science both as compulsory to class 10 instead of class 8. So 2 additional years was added at that time to Indian education system to make it more scientific for the people of India and to make them make a pace with the progress in the world based on technology as well as on science. I extend heartfelt gratitude to the conference team of Punjabi University and the esteemed gathering of scholars here. This conference, organized in collaboration with the School of Education, Curtin University, has a best introduction about oneself. We should stop saying, I am from Patiala, I am from Delhi, I am from Gurgaon, I am from Gujarat, I am from Perth, I am from Nepal. Rather, we should start saying, I am from this world. So we are companions, we are brothers, sisters, we are one family. The idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is a prestigious idea of Indian ethos, that has always been believing that the whole world is a family and we all are associated with each other. That is the idea which can start paving way for sustainability. If the resources I am using, I must take care of the resources being used by the people across the world. And I should be partnered into sustaining the environment, not only geographical, but social as well, economic as well. Today, as we gather here to discuss the transformating role of science, mathematics, and technology and education in shaping the future, it is essential to reflect upon the vision that drives educational reforms in my country. We in India have recently received Education Policy 2020 after almost 34 years. Last policy on education came in the year 1986 when I myself was doing class 12. And now, after 34 years, when I myself is a professor of education and heading Department of Education at University of Delhi, I was amazed and happy to receive it because it was much awaited, much needed. This policy is a significant milestone in the journey of Indian education, which was introduced and launched none else by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. The NEP 2020 envisions a robust and forward-thinking education system that aims to empower every learner with the skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in 21st century. I was talking to the delegates in the morning over breakfast when I was saying, this policy is a beautiful combination, beautiful balance between Indian ethos, Indian knowledge system, Indian traditions, having roots, having our foot on the ground, and at the same time to have a broader vision for the world, open-mindedness, and scientific and technology-driven ideas and innovations in the society. The vision of our Prime Minister is clear and ambitious, both. To position India as a global leader in education, we want to be Vishwa Guru in the world of education. For that, I am happy as NCT chairperson to share with you that NCT is working on different parts of the world and take away Indian ethos, Indian important for fostering a knowledge economy that is inclusive, equitable and sustainable. Traditional one-size-fits-all model and adopt a more holistic approach to learning. This policy focuses on multidisciplinary education. We all are talking about policy since 2020. On 29th July 2020, this policy was adopted and approved by the Cabinet of India. Since that day, we have been discussing different dimensions of this policy, and the buzzing word coming out of the policy are multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, integration of existing knowledge, and research which is based on evidences, not only on ideas. It emphasizes critical thinking, creativity. In the morning again, one of the delegates was asking, how do you look at critical thinking and the creativity aspect of the young learners? I was talking, since last 15-20 years, we are focusing on our curriculum frameworks to focus on these core dimensions of the modernity and rationality, which is critical thinking, creativity, and hands-on experience, hands-on learning, ensuring that students are equipped to face the challenges of the rapidly changing world. My generation, who are in their mid-50s at the moment, have seen all three phases of modernity. In 80s, we were very conventional, very traditional. In 90s, we started looking at LPG model, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. When I was doing my graduation, we came to know that computers are coming to India. And computers are going to have an impact on working culture as well as working employment opportunities in the country. And we were afraid of it. It should not snatch away our employment. But gradually, this technology became part and parcel of our life, And we see on the one side, it is not only making the workstation, work profile easy, but at the same time, it's giving new dimensions to the working culture of the country. Education is not just about acquiring knowledge, but also about developing necessary skills for global leadership and global citizenship. We are therefore at the crucial juncture in the evolution of our educational landscape, where initiatives like NEP 2020 will play a pivotal role in shaping future of generations to come. This quote is very interesting and important for us to understand that Indian ecosystem wherefrom we derive our strength. Vidya Vichari Tan Paropkari. This quote from Guru Granth Sahib, page 356, is saying, when education is used wisely, it leads to selfless service and upliftment of humanity. Guru Nanak Dev की वाणी में we all know, जिन्होंने जेंडर इक्वालिटी की बात की और ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वैल्यूज को समझना चाहते हैं, तो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड रिलीजन इन दिस कंट्री, जिसने हमेशा से शेयरिंग के प्रिंसिपल्स को प्रमोट किया इन द सोसाइटी. In this prestigious university, Punjabi University, I'll not read my text because we all know we are sitting in Punjabi University, English University, which is only second which has been named after a language, working for the promotion of a language in the world. This is dedicated to preservation, promotion and development of Punjabi language, literature and culture. This is also a globally recognized hub for education, research and innovation. It is not that as NCT chairman I am coming here for the first time. I have been part and parcel of Punjabi University for multiple activities, coming here for PhD vivas as well as coming here to participate in the book fair you organize every year. Institution, when we are talking of Vigyan, Ganit, Pradyogiki or Shiksha, to my understanding, these four are not only subjects, not only terms, but these are important pillars of modern society. जब इन चारों को हम एक साथ देखते हैं तो एजुकेशन में इनोवेशन और डेवलपमेंट के नए डायमेंशंस खुलते हैं. And we, the people of education in developing countries, need to look at it with a positive mind and open and progressive ideas that science and technology is not enemy. Enemy are the people who make negative use of it, destructive use of it. Technology is now giving a new idea. Digital arrest is nowadays into discussion at a lot of forums. But this digital arrest is not the idea of technology. Technology is helping us promoting digital literacy, promoting digital literature, promoting digital ways of teaching and learning. But this digital arrest is a side effect of this technology. So science, technology, mathematics is not for any negative dimension. जैसे ठीक उसी तरह जैसे हम कहते हैं कि you have a knife, you can use it for chopping vegetables and fruits and you can use it for stabbing a person. It is up to you how you use it. Same way I want to say कि ये चारों dimensions, science, technology, science, mathematics, technology and education, चारों ही नवाचार के, innovations के, which is much needed in our education system in the country, डायमेंशन नए खोलते हैं जो विकास की तरफ लेके जाते हैं. भारत में शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में क्रांतिकारी बदलाव के लिए जो प्रस्ताव सरकार ने दिया, जो शिक्षा नीति भारत ने स्वीकार की, ये शिक्षा नीति इंडियन सिटीजन्स को, इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स को सिर्फ नॉलेज रिसीवर नहीं बल्कि नॉलेज डेवलपमेंट का पार्टनर बनाना चाहती है. दिस पॉलिसी इज प्रमोटिंग अस टू डेवलप इंडिविजुअल्स एज रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन्स, not only for the nation but also for the globe. This making and shaping the future, if we say, but also in the geography and sustainability sector. We want to see teachers' role as transformators of this vision. Teachers are the architects of future. We have always been listening and learning this. Nurturing creativity, promoting critical thinking, and ethical values among students. Again, Mr. Paul and me were discussing just now that nowadays in most parts of the world, teachers are becoming most vulnerable population in this world because they are not getting support from the system, they are not getting support from the pedagogical transformation, they are not getting support from the society or the administrative center to the success of integrating science, mathematics and technology into classroom. As a teacher educator myself and now as a custodian of teacher education in the country by being virtue of chairperson NCTE, I think teachers should be empowered. Teachers should be given this responsibility and pride that they should be the stakeholders while integrating science, mathematics and technology into classroom situation. For that purpose, at the accommodation counter outside today morning, I was talking to 2-3 students from ITEP program, Integrated Teacher Education Program. And I was asking them, how are you liking this program? They said, brilliant. I said, what is brilliant about it? They said, this is the first program which is allowing us to go for dual major degree. In the country, this is the first program of its kind. And this dual major degree is allowing people to integrate their subject knowledge with their creative ideas of pedagogy, with their experiments in pedagogy, and with their experiments in technology to make it interesting. Technology is a mean and not an end. We need to understand this also. Technology should be my part of my lesson planning through which I want to make my classes interesting. And technology by use of, instead of chalk and talk, if I am shifting to PowerPoint presentation supported by my lecture, then I am not doing justice to the orientation of technology. Teachers are trained to foster innovation, critical thinking, and this is the idea of policy. Policy is proposing we the teachers are backbone of entire education system. And this backbone need to be very firm, very strengthened. And this can be done only through training the people, training the teachers who are not only able to foster innovation, critical thinking, program after class 12. So we want to carry foundational stage, preparatory stage, middle stage and secondary stage. This is integration. At the same time, I need to understand the challenges of this research in this content and interdisciplinarity of this content. This is a credit-based program which we must be program which our country is looking at to promote technology among young people is National Mission for Mentoring. This National Mission for Mentoring, which I was discussing over breakfast also, this mission is helping us understand that a young teacher needs some hand-holding in the beginning of his or her career. And this hand-holding app-based program, mentoring mission, which is there to provide a seamless with digital space for teachers and mentors to interact, share knowledge, and around 64 mentors enrolled with NCT. Some innovation in their domain can become mentors for the fresh teachers, new upcoming teachers, or pupil teachers for that reason. Another important program which NCT is working on ensuring that educators are prepared to meet learners' needs. There are 3 stages of teachers in NPSD: proficient teacher, which is a beginner, advanced teacher after an experience of 5 years, and expert teacher after an experience of 10 years with certain visible evidences of their competencies. And we want them to be lifelong learners in their own approach as well as in the approach of taking their content in a classroom situation. If we want to talk about teachers as future builders, then we need to understand in the age of SMTE, teachers play a key role in integrating these disciplines into everyday learning. We have heard of Hoshangabad project. We have heard of science as part of our daily life.
Science is not something which can be found only in a classroom situation or only in a theory textbook. This is part and parcel of our life. When we see the weather, when we see the this pollution around, when we see the climatic conditions, everything is supported by a scientific vision. Only then you can relate what is a good weather and what is a bad weather, what is a healthy environment and what is a polluted environment. Teachers inspire students to embrace technology, scientific inquiry and mathematical reasoning. For this, in this new curriculum of ITAB, we have added numeric aptitude among all teachers. That has become a compulsory part of ITAB program, which inspire people to develop their competencies not only on technology but also on mathematical reasoning, making them ready to tackle global challenges like climate, social justice. Teaching himself, a lamp can never light another lamp unless it continues to burn its own flame. If you have ever visited my department, CIE, Central Institute of Education, University of Delhi, our motto is Deep Se Deep Jale, and we have taken this quote from Tagore's ideas. कि जलता हुआ दीपक भी एक नई दीपक को रोशनी दे सकता है. And that is the idea of modern education. We need to enlighten ourselves first and then try to enlighten other people around. SMTE, in the mission of Viksit Bharat, how we relate these two, it's also important to understand. Developed India mission. Role of SMTE in achieving Viksit Bharat, we need, as I mentioned, as NCT chairperson, I'm looking at teachers not as somebody who is bearing all the burden of social values, ethics, and helping children to be responsible citizens in the society. But I also believe that teachers should be empowered educators. They should be empowered with technology. They should be empowered with modernity. They should be empowered with Indian ethos and Indian knowledge system. We should be having inspiring innovations opportunities like this opportunity which has come to Punjabi University Patiala to have this conference and discuss for 3 days about the importance of science, technology, mathematics into our day-to-day life and in our attitude and outlook. Fostering global competitiveness is a strong foundation in STME prepares students to thrive the global economy. Big data analysis is another new dimension looking at the things. Data is being sold like anything. This international trend, my own son, who is a data analyst in Canada now, he says, Papa, I just take data from different organizations, analyze that, and give it and sell it to multinational companies. That there is a name, what product is being liked by the people and what product is not liked by the people. What modification people are looking at. So this data is now data-driven research, data-driven industry, scientific temper and critical thinking, which is helpful in contributing and realizing the mission for Viksit Bharat. अगर मैं इंडियन सिस्टम में एजुकेशन की बात करूं तो मैं लास्ट में सिर्फ ये कहना चाहूंगा कि हमारे देश का भविष्य शिक्षा प्रणाली से जुड़ता है और हमें एक विकसित भारत बनने का सपना साकार करना है तो हमें विज्ञान, गणित और तकनीकी को शिक्षा का फाउंडेशन बनाना होगा. हमें ये भूलना होगा कि एजुकेशन इज अ सोशल साइंस. नो, एजुकेशन इज कैन बी सीन एज अ सोशल साइंस. But its foundation is based on technology, its foundation is based on rationality, its foundation is based on modernity. Only then we can look at modern India. यहाँ आप जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स, टीचर्स, स्कॉलर्स प्रेजेंट हैं, उनको मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ कि 3 दिन के डिस्कशंस, डेलिब्रेशंस में आप सोचिए कि साइंस gone are the days when we look up to West to give us direction for development and progress. Now we have our own in models of progress, our own basis of having our own ideas and researches in the context of modern lifestyle, which is having roots on Indian ethos. महात्मा गांधी ने कहा था कि भविष्य इस बात पे निर्भर करता है कि आज आप क्या कर रहे हैं. Our 21st century के example of laying the foundation on the left, teaching and learning in the country. On behalf of NCTE, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Punjabi University Patiala, School of Education, Newton University, Perth, for organizing this 3 days international workshop where we are trying to address and understand the theme making and shaping the future. Future not only for India but for the world. Thank you very much.
Modernity and rationality on the foundations of equality. What a brilliant combination. And we are striving for this throughout. Thank you so much, Professor Arora. The keynote address sets the tone for the discussion and insights that will follow. And we are truly honored to have a speaker of Professor Rachel Shafiq's caliber to deliver this keynote address. Professor Shafiq from School of Education Perth will be speaking on the theme. Bamb will take over.
I hope you all enjoy the kangaroo, the very Australian animal background. To talk about India.
Keep talking about
and I'd like to quote for the NCRT Professor Aurora and his wonderful words, and I'm really sorry, I'm going to try hard. Professor Shashi Kala Wanjara, UC from NIE in Delhi. I apologise in advance, I don't speak Punjabi English, so I hope you can follow with me. I think it's been, and it's about conferences being places to share knowledge. I started my experience a week ago in Delhi and then in Rohtak, and was sitting at the airport with and Hindustan Times said that I was in a toxic cesspit, which was a little bit concerning. But I heard one of the bravest people ever yesterday in your Dean of Sustainability, Professor Baldra Singer Sani. He apologised to 930 students from undergrads, pre-primary, right the way through year 12 for the state that the world is in under our care. And I thought that was just the bravest thing to do, because it's through that acknowledgement that we don't always get it right that we seek to move forward. We also had a tremendous speech yesterday talking to young people from the chair of botany, Professor Manish Kapoor, who talked about the world and where we've come. So I don't want to talk necessarily about the situation. I want to talk about strategies that may be able to help in the future. And I didn't get back on the plane. I'm so proud. Here I am. I did say toxic system. I also need to give you some context. So my Australian colleagues and I, who are here, we have travelled from the green place. So the bottom line on the graph is where we are in Perth, Western Australia, in the green line. Our AQI is between 0 and 50, and above that is Delhi over the last few months. So I think that's why we notice very significantly the situation. So the comment is it a problem? And I think what we need to do is we need to help students solve problems. And we need to use STEM as a way of doing that. And that's where I'm going to go. I am going to continue, though, illustrating this is a problem. One of my favourite sources of data, and I think we have to start with the data, is Our World in Data, that put together information about air pollution and the number of millions that it kills annually. So, yep, we got a problem here. It also is impacting this problem into the mental health of our young people. This is the Australian. We're talking about 76% of young students are worried about the current situation with the climate. I couldn't find any big data from India. I did find some about eco-anxiety, but it's a relatively small study, so I just note that. So, what we need to do though with our students is, it's no point in scaring them so they can't sleep. How is that going to help if we have young people who are so anxious because of this issue that they cannot sleep? So I think what we need to do is we need to talk about sustainability, and we need to give them a way forward. I'm putting up the definition of sustainable development from the Brundtland Report in 1987. It's still one of the best, I think, definitions. And very excited when we get extra energy released, we use it. And now that there is going to need to be some changes in the way that we all live moving forward. So the sustainable development that meets the needs of the present of influence and the outer circle. What we find is that we have relatively small amounts of control, but we do have capacity to influence. But there are lots of things beyond our control. This is based on the work of David Dronick, who talks about increasing our circle of influence, at least, to be able to make changes. And I start with this to set it up, how we've got it to work, and then I'm going to talk to you about how maybe we need to measure different things. If we're only ever going to measure content knowledge, maybe we need to rethink what we're going to measure as a way forward. In worldwide, I'm talking about the global family. Worldwide, I'm talking about the global family. The SDGs are only for a few more years. We're going to be there. We're going to be there. We're working in schools with children. It's empowering. There are lots of different models. This is the model from Stanford Design School. This is what my PhD student recently did with it. It still works the same way. And I just want to walk you through a few of the stages and give you some examples of what it might look like. When you start, you have to be able to give context for students. It is no good talking about abstract ideas. What we talk to them about is we need to find out information. If we're talking about health and well-being, and we looked at what could they do within their context. So context is specific. You cannot ask a group of year 9s or grade 9s or undergrads to solve the air pollution in Delhi. Seriously, big problem, they're not going to be able to do it, but they do have control in their context. So what is the problem? How do we know it's a problem? Who can they find out from? Back into the data, they can find around to establish that problem. Then they bring their problem into something that is definable. Then they get to prototype their solution. So the children in India, prototyping what they could do, they look at herbs and mindsets. I'm sure some of the older members of the room will look at sexuality. That's been a very interesting space to be able to capture information. I'm going to talk about it because I think so. We're talking about the first slide is around eco-literacy, the ecological worldview, going from a narrow focus of discipline into a much more broader view, which is going to be a bit more superficial. But we're connecting the dots, we're seeing the complexity and engaging feelings, which I think is really interesting, and making it personal. So, eco-literacy and their contribution to the world are the two underpinning aspects. So can we understand the state of the planet, being fully aware of the complexity, which is really, really difficult for younger children. And it's going to take us a long time to work out if we can get there, let alone if our students can get there. But it also gets us to think about how we have unintentionally contributed to the problem. So bear with me, we're going to go through them very quickly because I do want to talk about some of the fabulous stuff that India is doing really well. Then we talk about systems. Now, for the scientists in the room, this is a much more comfortable place. We're talking about relationships between systems, we're talking about cycles and patterns and flows, energy flow, we're talking about all those aspects of science as we know it, environmental knowledge as we know it. They come in, missing a slide. They come in 4 long-term thinking, both and, which I thought was really interesting, so that notion of all thinking. Talks about flows in circles and connectedness. So I love the first one because I'm fairly sure a lot of the apologising we have to do as we get older is to do that we didn't see consequences when we introduce something. Best example I can think about is tame toads. In Australia we have an invasive species called tame toads. They are incredibly problematic. They are highly poisonous, very ugly, about this big. They breed very rapidly and nothing can prey on them because they are toxic. They have toxic glands in their shoulders. So they were introduced, badly I have to say, to eat cane beetles. They introduced 12 of them and they didn't eat cane beetles. That didn't work, and they spread incredibly rapidly, and they kill and eat all our native species. It's a huge problem. We have millions and millions of them now working their way around Australia. There's probably more cane toads than people, probably definitely more cane toads than people. It's a real problem, but it wasn't done maliciously. It was done in the best way possible at the time. So we have actions that we are not aware of. The notion of including all the stakeholders and understanding paradoxes. If we do this, this happens, but if we do that, this also happens. That can be complex in our systems, which leaves us open to climate deniers who use one piece of information in isolation and then tell us things aren't the way they are. So I think that's really interesting. Then we're talking about flow of, we talked about energy, nitrogen, carbon flow. We had this lovely conversation yesterday about carbon sequestering trees and then carbon release. And then, of course, the interconnectedness of everything. And it's been lovely to be walking in the park where we're staying to see the connectedness of different species that are there. The emotional intelligence. This covers a lot of things that we need to teach. Innovation, flexibility, resilience, and so forth. I've been given to keep going. So creative innovation and reflection and self-awareness. How do we use meditation and reflective practices to help improve the situation? Finally, the spiritual intelligence and the notion of oneness with nature. That comes back to one of my colleagues' research on nature play. The fact that we seek out nature and the fact that when we are disconnected from trees and from spaces that we feel worse than when we're connected, and the research is there to say that's a big problem. Mindfulness and purpose. So that is our sustainable mindset. I argue that we need to be looking at that as a way of being able to help students become better citizens of the world and also custodians of the world. So how are we doing? Well, super impressed. We planted trees yesterday at your school on campus, and the principal said every child's birthday they plant a tree. And I was like, wow, that is absolutely brilliant. Trees, as you know, incredible sequesters of carbon. I was also inspired by this talk, and I'm going to throw one of my other colleagues under a bus. This is the research opus, I think, of Professor Michelle Johns, who has written a handbook of global sustainability education and thinking. It is an enormous a work of amazing looking at worldwide sustainable education. And that launches this week. In fact, I'm launching it for you. I'm launching it for you. Well done, Shaz. You're absolutely fabulous. That prompted. But I also want to say that we don't necessarily have to always look to the future, although we will be talking about that in the panel. I wanted to bring to your attention, and you may be very knowledgeable, but for me it was really interesting, about the Vishnoi people of Rajasthan. Did I get it right this time? Yeah, thank you. They were the first advocates of sustainability. They worked in sustainability, they were vegetarians, they looked after the world, and a little bit about some of the amazing things that they know about. For example, the Kerala tree, which has some amazing features. I know I'm very late. From Australia's perspective, we have the notion of our Indigenous people. We have, as Rita said, a culture that is very ancient, 60,000 years old, and they also have really interesting ways of knowing. And we are now looking back at some of the things that they've known for a really long time, because they have this incredible knowledge, and it's not written down in a graph. I had a bit of a moment where, is it still science, even though it's not written in a graph or written as data? For example, the Indigenous people in Australia will only eat dugongs, which is a big mammal for the sea. They'll only eat males. Not because they are sexist, but because females gestate for 2 years. So if you take a female, then you stop that breeding process. So they really are thoughtful in their use of science to support their ways. So there's research going on around that. I love this. This is the stalk lady. And she is doing that in India and is recognised as one of the champions of the earth. This is another champion of the earth who is organising beach cleanups in and around the country. So there's hope, I think, that we have people that are wanting to make a difference, and I think that we need to rethink how we assess our students and what pedagogies we use to teach them, so we don't frighten them, we empower them to be advocates for their own way forward. Thank you very much. Would anyone like to comment from the panel? Thank you.
I think there was a
examples related to what are the your creation and planning about town planning of the
I think it comes back to we have to move forward. We have to look at a new generation of learners. So if we keep telling them how bad it is, we leave them with fear. We have to give them a pedagogy that will enable them to solve the problems and to be very innovative. And we have people that are doing that already. We have to encourage all the Indians to take hold of that and to be advocates for their own space and solvers of the problems. If we can get them to be creative, there is nothing that they can't do. I think that's my message. And I think we have to think about the assessment aspect of it, whereas where I've come for this notion of sustainable mindset. Because I don't think asking them about photosynthesis, they need to know about it, but if they're going to solve the problem, they're going to have to need more than just to regurgitate it. They need to be able to use it, and that's a much higher level of thinking. Does that help?
I think she has already discussed in her speech that about conceiving the idea, then designing it, making prototype, and testing it. That was
yes.
And then she has won 12 principles. Yes. So I think that was more than enough.
Thank you.
Right, the man said, alert but not alarm. I think there's a approach with every aspect of life. Thank you, Professor Asian. It is my great honor to introduce our guest of honor for today's event. We are privileged to have Professor Kalli Sohni, Vice Chancellor, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, New Delhi, with us. We are all eager to have your thoughts on this international conference, ma'am. A big round of applause for Professor Kalli Sohni.
Sir, I think he left.
No, he's there. He's right on side.
Sir, and all the international delegates plus Indian delegates, Patake members. At the beginning, I would express my gratitude towards Punjabi University because they have invited me to be a guest of honor, and I am very much thankful. I am highly delighted to be a part of this conference. Jeffrey, thank you. And at the same time, I should compliment her for organizing such a wonderful conference on needed theme. Jeffrey, congratulations to you and your team. Friends, I am happy. I am little bit worried also. Because see, two teacher educators sitting on the same dais and speaking on the same subject, it's very difficult for me. Because already Professor Pankaj has highlighted many points which are included in my speech, which has to be included, but definitely I won't. And see, before all the learned scholar, I have to solve my paper within 20 or 30 minutes. It's very difficult, so you definitely cooperate with me. Because you are the best evaluator, you will evaluate my answer through this microphone. Friends, the theme or the subject on which we are discussing since morning, science, mathematics, technology and education, making and shaping the future. Very important. Two words are very important in my opinion, making and shaping the future. Already Rekha Kaul has highlighted many important points, and then keynote speaker, she raised one question. What do you want to achieve? I will take that question and I wish to provoke you to think on that. What do you want to achieve? This question is to everyone. What do you aspire to be? If the theme is given as making and shaping the future, I would like to forget about STEM and SMTE also. The main focus on which I would like to share my thoughts, making and shaping the future. Even when keynote speaker was speaking, she highlighted 12 principles, and out of these 12, the one which is very important in my view, and that is oneness with nature. Our ideology, our philosophy, my tribute to Narakji. I don't we can say that very pavitra granth. And see, when I say that oneness is very important, and 2 days back our Honorable Prime Minister has introduced through Cabinet One Nation, One Subscription. Again, I would like to remind you about the G20 theme, One Earth, One Family and One Future. So we all are well acquainted with the theme, making and shaping the future. Even Pankaj has highlighted many points, which is ability, critical thinking, reasoning, etc., etc. Because our apprehension is totally different. साइंस के बच्चे हैं, मैथमेटिक्स के बच्चे हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी के बच्चे हैं, वही सब कुछ करेंगे. Social, what will happen to the social science? What will happen to the history? What will happen to the culture? What will happen to the anthropology? There are many more questions. See, our ideology is what? What philosophical ideas are there? Atmavat sarvabhuteshu. See, when we say Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu means we have the respect not only for human being, not only for particular animal, but towards all Jivatma, those they have liked. Even beyond that, we believe in non-living also. This is our ideology. हमारे भारतवर्ष में जब हम लोग 300 साल पहले का इतिहास देखते हैं, तो आज जेंडर पैरिटी की बात हम कर रहे हैं, तो वो सही है या गलत है? देखिए, अहिल्याबाई होळकर को पुण्य श्लोक अहिल्याबाई होळकर कहते हैं. क्यों कहते हैं? बिकॉज हर कैरेक्टर, her full biography is without any single blot, and that's why we used to say that Punya Shlok Ahilyabai. And coming 25, we are celebrating her third centennial year of her birthday. It is, I think, it is on 31st May 25. Is totally different. We don't want to compare with other countries or with other philosophy, but whatever we are doing, it should be confined to our goal. What is our focus? Making and shaping the future. And whenever we speak about this making and shaping of future, suddenly the thought comes in mind about sustainability. Entire picture has been exposed or has been we can say that highlighted by Professor Arora. See, after 34 years gap, we could see, we could read, we could do, we could imagine, we could see the dreams, see what would be the Bharat of 2047. After the gap of 34 years, we got this particular document. राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति हमें मिली है और उसमें हम लोग पहला या दूसरा पेज खोलेंगे तो उसमें दिखता है कि इक्विटेबल quality and inclusive education. And not only it is confined to that document itself, but it is beyond that. देखिए, when I happened to be here, I traveled from Delhi to Punjab, तो मेरा जो चालक था ड्राइवर, उन्होंने कहा हम लोग पंजाब में हैं. अभी कितनी भी रात हो जाए और जंगल से भी जाए तो भी हम सेफ हैं. See, this is the culture of Punjab. हमारे एक पंजाबी जो कल्चर है हमारे भारत का वो गौरवपूर्ण है. हमें ये अंदर से ही फील होने लगता है कि हम लोग वी आर सेफ इन पंजाब, क्योंकि हमारा एक वो जो अनुभव होता है और वो अनुभव की बात हम लोग जब करते हैं तो देन इट इज मोर अप्रोप्रिएट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग. पॉलिसी में ये बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. लोका भवन्तु सुखिनः, लेट ऑल पीपल बी हैप्पी. ये थॉट प्रोसेस जो है वो थॉट प्रोसेस केवल इट इज नॉट टू दैट कंटेंट और दैट बुक और दैट क्लासरूम, बट इट इज बियॉन्ड एवरीथिंग. पॉलिसी highlights, policy emphasizes multidisciplinary education, means definitely we would appreciate the initiative in the direction of STEM education, no doubt at all. But along with that, if certain issues are raised and the questions are there, then we have to reply to that. Gender parity. Already I have told about the Ahilyabai Holkar's example. Her entire life history is totally different. वो एक सन्यासी का काम करती थी पर भगवे वस्त्र नहीं पहनती थी. वो एक लड़ाई के मैदान में आई एक शूर वीरांगना के रूप में, पर उसने शस्त्र नहीं चलाए. तो ये जो हमारा टीचिंग और प्रीचिंग है ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट होता है और इसीलिए हम लोग मेकिंग एंड शेपिंग द फ्यूचर के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन की भूमिका करेंगे. When we talk about quality education and when we focus on the goal number 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Now what could be done? Achieved at least the minimum proficiency and level in reading at the end of primary 2019. But you might be knowing about foundational literacy and numeracy. These two aspects mainly focused in foundational stage. Then improvement in upper secondary completion rate has showed since 2015. Some regions including some Africa are facing teacher shortage. You know, everywhere we get to know that the shortage of teacher, and therefore NCT has taken initiative through IT. At the early stage, the student or the child or the we can say that the people will decide. If they are playing the role of parent, they will decide where my child will go. And this ITEP is very, very reforming. You can say that dual major degree program, and definitely Professor Arora is. I should give compliment to him because we were together in framing that syllabus of ITEP. Now, this is the biggest, or you can say that very important by the NCT. Definitely, we will resolve the issue of shortage of teachers. India will be a country where you will get, or we are very much hopeful to get good number of teachers, and not only in number, in terms of number, but in terms of their teaching as a profession. So this will be resolved, and then see, but to address all these issues, since long I have been in teaching and my domain is teacher education, so I, with full confidence, I could say that, I will say that, what is education is to be understood thoroughly. शिक्षा क्या है, इसको इस बात को हमने समझना चाहिए. आप देखिए, हमारा एक कॉलोनाइज्ड जो सिचुएशन था, वहां से हम लोग भी डीकॉलोनाइज के तरफ आ रहे हैं. सबको समझना है, हमारी जिम्मेदारी है. We are responsible citizens of Bharat. We have to understand. Will empower you to understand how you were. And see, this mindset or trajectory of education is very important, because that will direct you, that will accelerate your force to reach to your goal, and it is very important to understand that. I would like to quote one thought given by J. Krishnamurti. The real intention of education is to achieve freedom and the overall transformation of society. Very important. When we are saying, or when we are focusing, we are doing some exercise on shaping, making and shaping the future. We cannot do it alone. So, it is very important to first think about togetherness, spirit of togetherness. And what education is? शिक्षा क्या है? तो शिक्षा दूसरे को समझने के लिए जो मदद करती है प्रक्रिया, उसको शिक्षा कहते हैं. केवल I am confined to myself, और फिर आत्मवत् सर्वभूतेषु की जो बात कर रहे हैं वो भी हम लोग भूल जाएंगे. हमारा ये कल्चर ही नहीं, हमारी आइडियोलॉजी नहीं, हमारी फिलॉसफी नहीं है. हम लोग एक टुगेदरनेस में ही बिलीव करते हैं, और इसीलिए देखिए बहुत सारे भारत में गए 5-10 साल में जो भी इनिशिएटिव्स आए, वन नेशन वन सब्सक्रिप्शन, वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन, बहुत सारी चीजें आई है. तो ये यानी वो अभी होने का है. वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन, यू फॉरगेट अबाउट दैट. वी डोंट वांट टू गो इन कंट्रोवर्सी, बट बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे देश में आई है. तो ये जो होता है वो है इंडियन इथॉस. और हम इंडियन इथॉस की बात करेंगे तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड एक्वेट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन विच इज गिवन बाय डिफरेंट फिलोसोफर्स एंड एजुकेशनिस्ट इन इंडिया. देखिए, गुरु रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर जी का भी उल्लेख किया पंकज जी ने. मैं एक बात बताना चाहती हूँ आपको. गुरु रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर ने 1913 में उनको गीतांजलि के लिए नोबेल पारितोषिक मिला. उन्होंने उसमें एक कविता लिखी थी, वेयर द माइंड इज विदाउट फियर एंड हेड इज हेल्ड. क्यों लिखी थी? मित्रों देखिए, हमारे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के और सिंगापुर के दोस्त यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, पर हमारी एक फिलॉसफी है, हमारी एक आइडियोलॉजी, हमारा जो प्रीचिंग है वो भी उन्हें पता चलना चाहिए. डेफिनेटली मैं हिंदी में बोल रही हूँ तो शायद उनको समझने में दिक्कत जाएगी. आई विल ट्रांसलेट इट इनटू इंग्लिश. See, this poem, we know that who is poet, who expresses thought, emotions through words, through different languages. पूरे भारतवर्ष में लोग चिंतित थे क्या करेंगे, हमारा ब्रिटिश की सत्ता है और हम लोग तो कुछ कर ही पाएंगे. कुछ लोग घर में अंदर छुपे थे. पंजाब में तो ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ होगा क्योंकि सब शूरों की भूमि है यहाँ पे. पर कुछ लोग तो डर गए थे ना ब्रिटिश की जो सत्ता थी यहाँ पे. तब रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर जी ने एक कविता लिखी कि देखिए हमारे लोग बहुत डरे हैं, और ये डर जाना चाहिए, डोमेस्टिक बॉन्ड टूट जाना चाहिए. वी हैव टू पीछे जाते हैं, वी गो बैक इन सेंचुरी। 12वें शतक में हम लोग जाते हैं तो ज्ञानेश्वर, संत ज्ञानेश्वर, महाराष्ट्र के संत ज्ञानेश्वर हुए। उनको ज्ञानेश्वर में देखिए कितना इंक्लूसिव कल्चर है। सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात हम लोग 2015 से कर रहे हैं। सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात भारत में बहुत चीजों में लागू नहीं है। संत ज्ञानेश्वर ने अपने भाई को गुरु बनाया था, निवृत्तिनाथ को। देखिए कौन सी फिलॉसफी थी, कौन सी आइडियोलॉजी थी, कौन सी सोशोलॉजी थी, कौन सा पॉलिटिकल साइंस था, कौन सा एजुकेशन था, कौन सा स्टेम था, उनका गुरुत्व था, इसलिए उन्होंने उनको उनका सबसे बड़ा भाई, 3 भाई थे। और ज्ञानेश्वर ने जो एक पसायदान भगवान को प्रार्थना करके मांगी, वो पसायदान था, आता विश्वात्मके देवे येने वरे भाग्यज्ञ तोषावे तोषोनी मजद्यावे, ये पसायदान। उसका ठीक है मीनिंग नहीं समझा होगा। पसायदान ये नहीं किया, जस्ट टू मेक माय वर्ल्ड अ गुड सोसाइटी। विश्वात्मके, केवल उन्होंने भारत के लिए नहीं मांगा था, विश्व के लिए मांगा था। और इसीलिए सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात हम लोग आज कर रहे हैं। मैं 12th सेंचुरी की बात कर रही हूँ। 12th सेंचुरी में एक संत सामान्य फैमिली का, सोशल इकोनॉमिकली बहुत ही डिप्राइव्ड थे, उनको तो समाज में बहुत तकलीफ थी, वो विश्व के कल्याण के लिए पसायदान मांग रहे हैं। यानी देखिए हम कितने अब इतने सारे 10 सेंचुरीज 11 सेंचुरी हमारी बीत गई, हमारा थॉट वो जब उसमें भी वैसा ही था, उस काल में, आज भी वैसा ही है और कल भी रहने वाला है। और इसलिए वननेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, स्पिरिट ऑफ टुगेदरनेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आगे कृष्णवर्ती कहते हैं कि एजुकेशन हैज टू बी प्रोवाइडेड इन ए वे दैट इज नेचुरल एंड डिवॉइड ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल टेक्निक्स एंड शुड फॉलो ए चाइल्ड। यस, अभी हम लोग जब क्लास ले रहे थे तो प्रोफेसर पंकज वाज डिस्कसिंग अबाउट इन अर्ली एजुकेशन, चाइल्डहुड और एडल्टहुड की तो बात बहुत आगे है। तो हम लोग तो वो बेबी जब कंसीव होती है तब से हम लोग इस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हैं कि नहीं, अच्छा सुनना चाहिए, अच्छा खाना चाहिए, अच्छा सोचना चाहिए, अच्छा बिहेव करना। एक क्या बोलेंगे, कुशल और एक विचारों का एक पूंजी होने वाला राष्ट्र है। इसलिए आज आप देखोगे कि भारत में इतने सारे स्टेट्स हैं, हर स्टेट का एक कल्चर है, एक संस्कृति, और ये डाइवर्सिफाइड कॉन्टेक्स्ट जो है भारत का, वो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। What is needed to be done? We have to think in a line. Though we are belonging to diversified culture, but we, at certain point, we have to come together, sit together, think together, and do something for the nation. So it is very important. Krishnamurti then asserted that truth is a pathless and advised against following any doctrine, discipline, teacher, guru, or authority, including himself. He emphasized topics such as choiceless awareness, psychological inquiry, and freedom from religious, spiritual, and cultural conditioning. देखिए, ये 2-3 लाइन में आपको समझ में आया होगा। Though we are religious, we are following different sects, different ideas, different ideologies, different philosophies. But again, I would like to clarify. इसके लिए भी कोई मर्यादा होती है। हम लोगों को we have to bring all these things, we have to nurture this oneness, and then it is possible to think about making and shaping the future. देखिए हम लोग प्रतिवयम जगत सर्वम, let the universe be enlightened, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, the whole world is one family, इसकी बात कर रहे हैं, and it is evidently it has been told. When we think about the demographic dividend, because I think Professor Rekha has highlighted that point. See what initiatives or what care should be taken or need to be taken. The pedagogical excellence, it is very important because we have to reach our students. It is very important to discover, to investigate, to think, to explore different pedagogical structures and aspects, because we cannot say that only because of this, only because of philosophy, only because of ideology we get success. No, not possible. हमें पूरे दुनिया को जानना है, पूरे विश्व को जानना है, and then we have to decide. अभी हमारे आदरणीय सरुजा सर नहीं है. लास्ट ईयर मेरे नीपा में मैंने एक प्रोग्राम लिया और उन्होंने रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी पे उन्होंने व्याख्यान दिया. सर के गुरु रहे हैं अरोरा सर के. उन्होंने इतनी अच्छी बात बताई कि वो हम लोग किसी से कंपेयर ही नहीं कर सकते. वी हैव दैट रिच हेरिटेज. हम लोग रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी की बुक्स पढ़ते हैं बहुत सारे. मैं बोलूंगी और टिप्स ऑफ इस पे आप बताएंगे 10 लाख. बट वी हैड दैट नॉलेज. तो ये बहुत सारी हमारी जो संपदा है इसको हमें रिमाइंड करना पड़ेगा, हमें रिविजिट करना पड़ेगा, री एग्जामिन करना पड़ेगा. बिकॉज व्हाट इज द रिलेवेंस ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स. एक हो गया. दूसरा, एनहांसिंग स्टूडेंट कॉम्पिटेंसीज अक्रॉस ऑल डोमेन. शुड नॉट से ओनली कि बस स्टेम नहीं. इट इज अप्लीकेबल टू ऑल डिसिप्लिन. हमें देखना है कि हमारे यहाँ ये जो नॉलेज एक हमारी संपदा है उसको हम लोग क्या करें. और देखिए, इट्स अ गुड टाइम बिकॉज दैट नॉलेज, इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम इज द इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ अवर एनईपी. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज दिस इंडियन नॉलेज. भारतीय परंपरा क्या है, where it is to be located. Very important. Why it has become the part of this entire policy. What is its relevance? What is its significance? What are the applications where we can search? Then the third aspect, which is very important, continuous professional development. And see, we are very fortunate because NCT has taken that initiative about a national standard for teachers. So we all have to enhance our capacity as a teacher, as a professional, and then dunya will accept it. Then in that particular aspect, both formal and informal opportunities we have to explore. And definitely we have to take care of our principals, our teachers, because down the line they will percolate all these things to the last person. Then of course, sir has said that digital arrest. Now see this digital arrest from which place, for who, and beyond that, you think not only this word is very, we can say that word digital arrest, but that will make a nuisance to our life also. So be aware about that. Technology has two things, pros and cons, demerits. So we have to be aware. We have to make aware our students and take care of all this. Evidence-based research, it is very important. And I am in NIPA, so I would be more happy to share with you. See, what would be beneficial for our national development is very important. So our research should be focused on that particular objective. Even we have been a part of ministry and we are getting funds from ministry for conducting research, because only 3 mandates are there in NIPA. One is advocacy, second is capacity building, and third is research. Now, to get the funds from the different institutes, we have to think about what would be a beneficial part for my country, for my university, for my students, for my teachers, for my principals, for my leaders. And then you think about the international benefits. And definitely, whatever money we will get in future, that has to be, we can say that, audited in terms of national benefit. Very important. And being a part of this all ministry programs, so therefore I shared with you. And then career guidance for a bright future. Because see, your theme is focusing on making and shaping the future. And we should not forget about the future of the student, because they are coming in our university. Your university is very unique. It has a legacy, and we are sitting in the Punjab. So Punjab is a rich state of Bharat. So we have to think, you have to think about एक्सटर्नल डेवलपमेंट बहुत हो गया. देखने में बहुत अच्छे वस्त्र पहने, बहुत अच्छे इंडियन भाषा मन इतना अशक्त है, कमजोर है कि सामने वाला या बात तो थोड़ी सी जगह भी नहीं मिलती तो हम लोग उसको गुस्से मारते हैं, चलो हटो यहाँ से, ये मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है। मित्रों, भारतवर्ष में हम लोग बहुत ही नसीबवान लोग हैं। वी आर इनफ फॉर्चुनेट टू हैव पीपल लाइक Punjab, people like Maharashtra, people like Haryana, people like all states. They are very inclusive. We learn from each other. We behave by understanding each other. और इसीलिए हमारा राष्ट्र, ये भारत राष्ट्र अच्छी बात नहीं है। तो आत्मोदीपो भव, गौतम बुद्ध जी ने जो एक बताया है हमको तत्व कि पहले तो हमारी ऊर्जा, हमारा लाइट, हम प्रकाश होना चाहिए। तो ये स्किल पैरिटी और जेंडर इक्वालिटी की बात कहते हैं। भारत रत्न केशव कर्वे जी ने वो उनका सोशल इंक्लूजन कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग था, केशव कर्वे जी ने वो उनका सोशल इंक्लूजन कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग था, सोशल डोमेन, सोशल पोषण, ये कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग था। और उन्होंने रिटायरमेंट की जो पैसे मिले, पैरिटी आज के वर्तमान के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में रखूंगी तो मुझे लगता है मैं खुद को जस्टिस नहीं दे पाऊंगी। और इसलिए बहुत प्रैक्टिकल थॉट्स है और अहिल्याबाई का भी उदाहरण दिया है। तो इसलिए हमारी जो संस्कृति है भारतवर्ष की वो बहुत इंक्लूसिव है। हमारा सारे हम लोग 0 माइल से मैं आपके बीच में उपस्थित हुई हूँ। आप मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे विद्वान भी आप लोग, बस आपको बहुत धन्यवाद। कृतज्ञता के साथ मैं आपका
glimpses of STEM in everyday life. जो ऑटो ड्राइवर का उन्होंने एग्जाम्पल दिया। Being educated doesn't mean the degrees. It provides the sensibility to understand, apply, and to execute. As one of the leaders of our organization, someone whose guidance delivered the presidential address. Please join me in welcoming Professor.
Respected Dr. Sanjeev Puri, Registrar of Punjab University Patiala. Professor Pankaj Arora, Chairperson of NC, Professor Russell Scafield and Professor Rekha Kaur, both from Curtin University, Australia. My esteemed colleagues and last but not least the participants, the delegates of this 3 days event, that is International Conference on Science, Maths, Technology and Education. Very good afternoon, because this is now after 12 years.
One has to be very
not
careful.
to say good morning, but it is now time to say good afternoon. At outset, being the academics, I would like to say that this is the proud privilege of Punjab University Patiala to host the ICSSR sponsored conference on these 4 disciplines, because we believe that the interconnectedness of these 4 most important disciplines is very important, because it plays the vital role in shaping the future, shaping the career of the student, which is exactly the theme of this conference. So undoubtedly it plays the vital role. And being the academic institute, I think it is the responsibility of rather all the institutes to give these students the learning experiences that can be relevant with the today's era, which is the technological era, and with ever-changing technology advancements in the technology. So this is very important. And as far as this multidisciplinary theme is concerned, I think our chief guest, Professor Aruna, has beautifully explained, and he has talked about the vision of our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, in the form of NEP 2020. So all the institutes are exactly implementing these guidelines is possible. I would like to add here one other initiative taken by Mr. Modi, and as you know, this is the multi-directly Mr. Modi, and then they will have the debate program. So these leaders will be selected. The multidisciplinary knowledge on the basis of which you can clear this first step. So I think this is the very relevant for organizing this conference. I would like to tell you that I joined as Dean Academics on 5th August this year only, and since then I am the witness of her tireless efforts for getting the different permissions. Daily she used to come to my office for this or that thing, the different permissions and the different kind of arrangements, inviting the guests and so many things. And today we are here to inaugurate this conference. It is just because of the efforts exerted by her and her entire team. So I congratulate her. There are, I think, more than... She really deserves this big hand of applause. I think there are more than 200 research papers, and this will be presented in different technical sessions, online as well as offline. So again, taking the advantage of technology. There are different sessions dedicated on different themes. The themes are, I think, teaching, innovation, and then environment, I think sustainable development also. So sustainable development, as our key speakers, the chief guests, already they have explained about the need of the sustainable development. I have to say about, in last COP, not last, but last to last COP 28, UN Secretary said that it is not global warming, rather it is global boiling. Our mother planet Earth is now boiling. The temperature has risen that much. So naturally, we have to do something for our future generations, as our speaker has given the definition of the sustainable development, that we have to conserve our resources for the future generation, not only for us, but for the future generations. And with that, we need the development. But the irony is that for development, we need the economy and we need the use of the resources. But we know that all these resources are on the depletion, they are getting depleted, so we have to think about the alternatives and mainly the renewable energy resources. And for that, I think we need the educators who can mentor the students, who can mentor the future teachers for improving the behavior. And this behavior is not the simple behavior, but it should be the energy efficient behavior, so that we can use the renewable energies and we can do something to preserve our resources, the natural resources. So for that, again, I congratulate the organizing team, and I hope this conference will be very beneficial because all these research papers will give the new ideas and the research findings will be definitely the beneficial thing. So thank you for inviting me. Stay here at Punjab University and in the city of the Patiala will be a memorable experience for all the delegates, particularly the foreign delegates. Thank you.
May I now request all the esteemed members on the dais to kindly release the conference abstract book. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased to announce the latest issue of the newsletter of the Department of Education and Community Service. I further request you to kindly release the newsletter Edu Insights as well. This newsletter is filled with important updates, inspirational stories, and a look at what's coming next. From the team achievements to upcoming projects, we pack this issue with exciting content to keep you informed and engaged. We hope you find it both insightful and inspiring. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honored by your presence today, and we are thrilled to have you here share this momentous occasion occasion winners. So now I request our esteemed guests to kindly accept our humble vote of gratitude and appreciation. I request Professor Rachel Sheffield to present a token of gratitude to Professor Pankaj Arora, our chief guest, Chairman NCPE, New Delhi. A big round of applause for Professor Pankaj Arora, please. To a guest of honor, Professor Shashi ma'am, Vice Chancellor DEPA, New Delhi. A big round of applause for Professor Shashi. I request Dr. Pushpinder ma'am, Dean, Faculty, to kindly present a token of appreciation to Professor Rachel Sheffield, and I also request Dr. Jampreet and Dr. Multani to kindly join in the honoring ceremony. A big round of applause for Professor Rachel Sheffield. Our guest of honor for today. A big round of applause for Dr. Rekha Paul. Request Professor Sanjeev Puri, Registrar, Punjabi University, Patiala, to convey a vote of thanks to our esteemed dignitaries.
Respected Professor Multani, Dean Academics, Punjabi University, Patiala. Distinguished guests and dignitaries on the dais, faculty members, and dear participants, so we are here at the conclusion of the inaugural session of ICSSR sponsored international conference. So on this occasion, I sincerely express my thanks to Professor Shashikala and Professor Arora, distinguished guests of the day. Your valuable suggestions, views and comments on the theme of the conference has really set the tone for the deliberations which will be going on during the conference. Thanks to Professor Rachel and Professor Paul, I have been told that they are the valuable collaborators with the Department of Education, so thanks for your continued support and scientific contributions. This topic of the conference is really very pertinent, particularly when we are going through the phase of implementing the new education policy, which has a specific emphasis on the multidisciplinary approach. So it's not only the math or the technology, it's basically the emphasis on giving exposure to the social sciences, languages, students, the exposure of maths and science or computers or technology, and vice versa. So hopefully that multidisciplinary approach probably lead to the holistic development of the students. So all the delegates, I hope you will listen to the talks of the experts and interact with them, and you will enjoy your stay over here in the campus, and the weather is really pleasant. Just forget a little bit about the AQI. So if you will start looking at the AQI, you will be worried and you won't move out. So please ignore the AQI.
On behalf of Cotton University Board, as a gesture of thanks, Professor Rachel and Professor Rekho Paul are presenting a gift of appreciation to Dr. Narendra Kaur Bhutani, Dean Academics, and Dr. Jabi Kaur, Head and Convener. A big round of applause for our own professors by the visiting professors.
Painting, which is have a good photograph. We come forward. Please you come forward.
May now please request Dr. Jafri to kindly honor Dr. Narendra Kaur Bhutani, Dean Academic Affairs, Punjabi University, Patiala. Ma'am, please. A big round of applause for Dr. Narendra Kaur Bhutani.
अरे इधर चेना करो अभी 1 मिनट
I also request Professor Sanjeev Puri, Registrar, Punjabi University, Patiala, to kindly accept a token of gratitude on behalf of Dr. Jagpreet and the Department of Education. A big round of applause for Professor Sanjeev Puri. Please request all the members of the dais and the members of the Department of Education to kindly join us for a group photograph. All the members on the dais and the members of the Department of Education kindly join us for the group photograph.
moment, I would like to request everyone to stand up in respect of our national anthem is being played.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे सब जय गाथा जय गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जन गण मन
Thank you all. I request you all to kindly join us for high tea. And after the high tea, a panel discussion will be started at its respective venue, which will be followed by lunch for the guests and the participants. And after which, the panel technical sessions will be starting. So basically, after lunch, the panel technical sessions will be starting at the respective venue. Right now, kindly join us for high tea.
क्या बात है electronic बहुत बढ़िया यस मैम और कुछ कवर कर लूँ हेलो लेनी है देख ली गोविंद
किसी भी दिन मिल सकते हैं इन्नू हेल्प नहीं करता इवन पॉपुलेशन कल्चर
हम चाय पी रहे हैं, हम एक फोटो ले लो।
ये वीडियो लाइव चल रहा है।
लाइव चल रहा है और लाइव चल रहा है वीडियो के सामने सब चल रहा है।
रिसर्च नहीं होती ये चीज फ्रस्ट्रेट करती है।
प्लेट भी चुम हो रहा है भारती, प्लेट भी चुम हो रहा है। वो है
हमारे डिपार्टमेंट खुशी हो रही है मुझे, खुशी हो रही है ऐसी होता है। किसी काम में कैसे बिलोंग करते हैं हमारी लाइफ बहुत ही
मैं है नहीं कवर
हाँ जी
मैडम आया गल्ला गल्ला मैं सत्ता आप आप मैं चाह पी जावा सत्ता मोटा चला के मैं उदा लै जा वोट ही नहीं पाउण आया बहुत साढ़े सरकार पहले एंटर कर गई एजुकेशन ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਗਿਆ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਦੂਜਾ ਟਰਮ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵਾ ਹਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਬੋਲ ਗਈ ਆ ਬੰਜਾਰੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ पूरा के गाइड आए थे उन्होंने सर्च कर सकता किताबों के नाम पर पिक्स ले दूंगी और जो वो पढ़ा के गया कि हमारी सर्च कैसे ये क्या है 7% के सर्च करते हैं जिन्हें पिछले 3 साल से बात चल रहा है भारत वही सी हाँ 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 आगे ना ध्यान भारत सेंटर के सर्च तो बाद ही जाना है पहली गल तो नॉलेज नॉलेज नाइदर अमेरिकन नॉर्थ साथ मनुख जाति ना ईस्टर्न ना वेस्टर्न ना ईस्टर्न ना जो न्यूट्रिशन मैं नेम लगे वो अपने नॉर्मल पॉवर्टी का 3 बंदा नहीं खरीदता जैसी हिस्ट्री पर साइंस पर नहीं है 20 बचन तेरे ਕੱਢ ਲਿਆ ਪਤਾ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਾਲੇ ਮਿਸਤਰੀ ਵੀ ਘਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਵੀਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਘੰਟਾ ਲਾਣਾ ਕਿਆ ਯਾਰ ਲੋਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਟਾਇਰਡ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਆ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ
ਇਹਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਸਵੇਰ ਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ
ਸਵੇਰੇ ਆਏ
ਬਰਾਸੀ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਰੌਲਾ ਪੱਟੇ
मैडम पता नहीं चक्कर है स्विच नहीं लगी बंद करना गगन क्या की करना मैं दादा निकल रहा हूं